Here we go. Here we go. Get it now. Here we go. You got it. Okay.
All right. Hello there. Welcome to Healing Me Before We. As usual, this is a relationship reawakening podcast for couples who want to thrive. Hi there, heart surfers. How are you today? Well, we bring to you a unique way of uncovering limiting beliefs about relationships by examining common uses of cliches. My name is Sharon Reed, known as the Heart Lady. I am a relationship specialist, and this is co host Dan, the Healing Man. We're here to share our exciting views. So, what's the cliche of the week, Dan?
Well, I just want to start off by saying aloha, Sharon, and aloha, heart surfers. And what a beautiful day it is for us to have this opportunity to be with you, whether it's live or however you're picking up our reception today. I welcome everyone to this cliche called Love Hurts. And you know, almost all of our cliches, Sharon, that we have discussed have
Okay, looks like we're stuck on my end.
songs attached to them. Do you ever think?
I didn't think about that. Maybe.
There's a song called, I think there's even a song that is called Love Stinks. So it stings, it stinks, it hurts. So all these songs that are connecting love to what? Pain and suffering.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Oh my goodness. You are frozen on my end, Dan. So I don't know what's going on.
And pain and suffering, including sometimes the opportunities when people are in a relationship and you hear people talk to other people when they're in this relationship with someone that they love, and they talk about more about the hurt and the pain from being in the relationship than the joy of being in the relationship.
Yeah. And you know, Dan, I also agree about the songs. My husband and I the other day said, have you ever noticed the best wonderful songs are about how love hurts? You know how much pain they are in a breakup. Those songs about breaking up and being in love and falling out of love always sound the best. But the joyful ones, you're not vibing with as much. That is so crazy. But you know, for me, the cliche love hurts. What does that mean for me? I disagree. I disagree. I believe that love is lovely. I believe that falling out of love hurts. And I know that there are physical reactions that people have when they break up. And so love hurts only when you are breaking up or no longer in a relationship. But while you're in love and growing in love, love is lovely. So, the research and the things that I've done on love hurts in particular, and because that's my specialty about relationships, and often the couples come to me because they are breaking up and they are hurt, but they're hurt because they feel as though the love is dwindling away, or the relationship is dwindling away. And then oftentimes people mix up with love and care. I care for this person, but loving the person, I don't believe love hurts. So, heart surfers, tell me what you think. Do you think love hurts? Are you hurting while you're in love? And if you are hurting while you're in love, then have you really re-examined and did an analysis? Are you really in love? So, what say you, Dan?
Well, my whole thought about love hurts is we confuse love with the absence of love or the
Mm,
threat of love being taken away.
the threat. I like that. Yes.
Yeah, and so love never hurts.
Mm,
Love is joy. Love is lovely, as you said. Love is the most powerful energy there is. And so, to be clear, love is all positive
yeah.
and it's all positive energy.
Yeah.
What happens is, once again, we use this word all the time, the unmet expectations
Hmm.
of how the relationship begins to change
Yeah.
in ways that we're not in alignment with our expectation of that other person that we love.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
other piece that I think we get so confused about is this idea of love. Is it conditional? Is it unconditional? And I know books have been written about this topic of
Yeah.
conditional love and
Mm,
unconditional love. And so to me, love can be neither conditional or unconditional. Take out the prefixes in front of love. If
yeah.
it's love, then you know what it is. You know how it feels.
Yeah.
And it's important to recognize, where does love begin?
Mm,
Love begins with self.
mm-hmm.
When we're born, we don't know anything other than love for ourselves.
Yeah.
We're not aware. I've said this before. Love is in my DNA. What
Mm-hmm.
isn't in my DNA
Mm-hmm.
is fear, the
Mm.
emotional fear
That's right.
of the threat of love becoming something that is earned or deserved, or I have to perform to get it.
Yeah.
When I first come out of the womb, and I say this all the time, just look at babies
Mm-hmm.
and how people are attracted to babies. They gravitate towards babies because of one word: love.
Yes.
The love that a baby just gives out, and there's no performance necessary for that love to be either given or received.
Absolutely.
And then what
Absolutely.
happens is we become conditioned, programmed,
Mm-hmm.
taught that love is something you have to earn. Love
Mm-hmm.
is something that I have to perform to get.
Mm-hmm.
And now love is all distorted.
Yeah. Yeah. We've been conditioned what to love, who to love, what to fear, and what not to fear. And you're right. And I often say when people having difficulty with loving themselves is to play with children. Find a baby, hold a baby, and you will feel the energy of love. You know, babies don't, like you said, don't have the fear. The only fear that they have, and it's an innate, and it's an energy that if they're getting ready to fall. So if you put a baby near the edge of the bed and they feel like they're in a position of danger, then they will feel that little fear. But other than that, as you said, coming out the womb, they have no idea. And as you said, everybody, no matter what color, what shape, what they look like, whether they're deformed or I have abnormalities, it doesn't matter. The energy of love transcends. So, does love hurt? Now, I read one article. There was a 2011 study, and scientists used the terminology, yes, love can really hurt. I'm like, really? Scientifically, no. They said that, let me see if I can find it and read it here. uh, Love can really cause physical pain or close enough. The scientists show participants photos of former partners and ask them to think about being rejected. Then compare this with MRI scans to scan and taken when the participants were made to feel in pain in their arms. The two scans showed activity in similar areas of the brain. So what that is saying again is that they did a scan, they they pinched their arm or made their arm feel pain. And they also showed a picture of their keyword former partner feeling rejected, showed the picture, and the two of them showed pain, which lighted up in the brain via the MRI. So, what I have with that is they show someone who was a former. They don't feel the love, they feel rejected. So, how could that be compared with the physical pain? Now, I do believe, and I have taught in workshops that, again, if there is a such thing as a cardiomyopathy, where it's an enlargement of the heart, it's also called broken heart syndrome, where someone, like say a mother lost a child and she just got the news, and oh my gosh, and that feeling will make the person feel as though they have a heart disease. It will simulate a heart disease, and that will be pain. And that is love. And we get that, that shock. But then again, something terrible happened, something traumatic happened. So we cannot, or for me, I cannot compare someone who is traumatized, whether it's a lost child or a lost spouse or a lost beloved. I can't compare the trauma with being in love. And so I understand what they're saying, love hurts, but the way that most people interpret love hurts is like, oh, I love him, but it hurts so much because he's doing this, that, and the other, or she's doing this, that, and the other. So, for some people, it's a fine line, but for me, it's very clear. Love does not hurt, and love is lovely. And I don't like that cliche.
Well, when I heard you talking about the experiment that they did,
Yeah.
I think what people do is they make the I think is grief. I think could be other feelings, betrayal,
Yeah. Yeah.
abandonment.
Yeah.
And these are feelings that are connected not to love. These
Yeah.
are feelings connected to fear. That
Yeah.
once again, the whole idea of there's two feelings in my mind. Okay.
Okay.
With people that I've coached previously.
Mm-hmm.
Feelings under one of those two categories. Now, do you know what feeling I put under both? Grief. Grief. I
Yeah.
wasn't sure. Is grief love or is it fear? Could that one
Mm,
fall under both love and fear?
nice.
Grieving, right? The
Yes.
loss of someone.
Right.
And so,
Right.
however we experience that loss, and that could be in a multitude of ways, as we just said, right? Could
Yeah.
be abandonment, could be betrayal. So yeah, if a
Yeah.
former lover of mine betrayed me, then I feel like I wasn't enough. There's that phrase. I'm not enough for that person to have to go out and find someone else.
Right.
So it always comes back to self, doesn't it?
Yes.
It always
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
It was not in my vocabulary. It was something that had to be taught to me by others when they started connecting love to performance, to
Right.
a deserving or undeserving of love. When
Yeah.
I came out of the womb, I'm worthy of love. And
Yeah.
I'm taking fear with it until
Mm-hmm.
it's to be earned. And so
Yeah.
if I'm in a relationship and this person that I love has, for some reason, abandoned me, betrayed me, left me, ended the relationship, now I no longer see myself as lovable.
Hmm.
I'm not lovable.
That's right. And oftentimes we carry that to our other relationships. They have not healed from the broken heart, right? From the broken relationship, from the trauma, from the grief. And then oftentimes they find comfort in someone else's arms. And when someone else is ready to endear them, they mistake that for love because they're wanting so much to feel that love. Now, yeah, you could, definitely feel as though you're growing in love with the individual, but I think long, not even long term, but further down the road, we want to make sure that that love is not a substitute,
Mhm.
almost like taking aspirin, taking some kind of acetaminophen or ibuprofen in order to dull the pain. Actually, I read an article that talked about um, if your heart is broken, if you take a Tylenol because it will do the same thing as far as relief it. I was like, really? And they used the brand name Tylenol. I was like, hmm. But yeah, I think it's an interesting concept to see whether love hurts. Um, I think being in love, growing in love doesn't hurt, but because you were in love and it was and you were hurt by the feelings that the other person or even the pet, you kind of miss it, or have been betrayed by it, whichever terminology you want. That part hurts, yes. But
Mhm. Loss hurts.
yeah, it's
The
loss
absence
hurts.
of the
Yes.
absence of
I like that, Dan.
love.
Real good.
When I
That's good.
love someone and for whatever reason they're no longer in my life,
Yeah.
whether they have left me or they've died
Yeah.
and I am no longer in their presence, then
Right.
what I'm experiencing is that loss, that grief.
Yeah.
That hurts.
Yes.
So
That's what
there's
I
the
think.
connection. That's the connection I make to love.
Yeah.
When I experience that loss or that grief from someone that I love, and they're no longer able to be connected with them in the physical, earthly manner, I'm hurting. I'm suffering. I'm in pain.
Yeah. And
Let's
then
just be clear though. That's not because I ever loved them. That's not
yeah,
what's creating it. It's the loss. And I'm going to
that's
bring
right.
in another word that you and I have often used, and it's the word called vulnerability. When
Mm-hmm.
I choose to love, I'm all in, aren't I? I'm all in. Unless, based on a former relationship, I'm
Yeah.
kind of reserved. I'm kind of holding back, right?
Yeah.
Because I don't want to experience that loss again.
Yeah.
I don't want to go through that grief again.
That's
Or I
right.
don't want to go through those feelings of betrayal or abandonment. And
That's
so
right.
now that's where I build up the wall, right? We call that the heart wall.
Mm-hmm.
I build up a wall to protect me
Absolutely.
from what? Feeling hurt, feeling pain. Let's just be clear though, that's not love. That's not a love wall. That's a fear wall.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and uh your body builds up this wall as a protection for you, that subconsciously you put this wall up to protect you from being hurt, which is a natural reaction. So just to kind of, sum it up, we talked about uncertainty, right? We talked about how the body has also a physical reaction. We talked about what unmet expectations. We talked about rejection, right? Being dumped and being betrayed. We talked about
Yeah.
um, uh, baggage from other relationships, right?
Mhm.
And so, and that now, and we are also offering how do we kind of prevent this hurt, right? How do, this hurt, but not uh, um, this hurt from being in love, right? if you want to say it that way, right? And we always say the first thing, what do we say? Because that's the name of our program, Healing Me before we. So
There
we
you
have to
go.
do what? Work on ourselves and being around people that are supportive and are upful and that are not going to join in your misery, right? And if you have trouble, that's why you have two wonderful coaches right here, right?
Right.
And I always believe that when you're in this sour mood, that you have to move your body. You have to do some type of
Mhm.
exercise, continue on
Or
some
dance,
love. That's
right?
it. Dance
Dance.
and music,
Sunlight and coconuts, dance.
right.
And dancing with myself. I dance
Yeah.
with myself when I'm mopping. I put on get I'm like the late 70s, the early 80s. So I'm a little disco, a little rock and roll, a little new wave. And it's all about what? It's all about celebrating who I am
Yeah.
and remembering kind of like remembering who I am
Yeah.
and how I began
Yeah.
in my origin, my birth of I'm all that in a bag of chips.
And
And
a
if
bag of
other
chips.
people if other people can't see that, that's their loss.
Loss. Yeah.
That's their loss.
Yeah.
That's not mine. Unless
Absolutely.
I take that on,
Yeah.
right? And
That's
that's my
right.
choice. So now I'm going to end it with this way. Love for others is a choice.
Mm.
We're born
Mhm.
with self-love. Nobody
Yes.
had to give us that. We
That's
already
right.
have that. That is what we are born with. When it
Yeah.
comes to loving others, though, that is a
Yeah.
choice. We choose to love. And
Yeah.
if we didn't have the choice to love, then love wouldn't have the positive energy that it has because
That's
love
right.
has to be freely given and freely received with
That's right.
no strings attached to it. And as soon as I feel a string attached, that's a red flag.
That's
Not for the
right.
other person, for me. It's like, wait a minute, why am I attaching a string to love? There are no strings to love.
That's
So what
right.
I would say is get out my little magical scissors and cut any strings that I might be making to others in relationship to love.
That's right. And a lot of people don't realize and recognize their attachment to. So that string is the attachment. And why are we having that attachment? Which is a whole nother episode that y'all can look forward to. And that's again why having a coach, a therapist is always helpful when you're navigating through the journey of love. All right. So I think it's time for the quote of the day. All right. And I think I have an appropriate quote,
Okay.
which many of you have heard. And it's exactly on time, I believe, for what we're talking about. Uh, it is better to have loved and lost than to have never been loved before. So let me say that again. It's better to have been loved and lost than never to have loved at all. So I believe that. I believe that, it's better to know what love feels like rather than not to know what love feels like. And if y'all are having trouble of really feeling the energy of love or have just been the recipient of a broken heart, then go pick up a baby, play with a child, go to the park, get grounded, distract yourself, check out what's going on with yourself, and find ways that you can look in the mirror and actually say, I love you.
Mm-hmm. Or even more, I love me because me, and I've said this before, I love to play with words, is my empowerment.
Mm, nice.
I love me. And one of the biggest challenges today, Sharon, is
Mm.
the word narcissist.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
I think we are all getting that fear
Hmm.
of being connected with narcissism of some sort.
Yes,
And
yes.
so what you and I have said before is we're talking about loving me first, not
Mm.
loving me exclusively.
Hmm.
It's an inclusive love that then I love me first because I'm all that. And
Yeah,
then I choose to love others.
that's right.
It's a choice.
Yeah.
And yes, there's a vulnerability attached to it, which goes back to your quote, right? It is
Hmm.
better to have loved
Loved.
and lost. Okay, there's always that possibility that for whatever reason, a relationship comes to an end of some sort,
Hmm.
whether it's an earthly existence end or just a breakup or, as you said, getting dumped. It, that's always there, isn't it?
Yeah, right.
Always a possibility.
That's right.
What you and I have the choice to decide is, does that define me in the
Mm,
way I love myself?
hmm.
Is it conditional, in other words, to
That's
how
right.
I see me and how I love me? And
That's
that's
right.
my choice.
And that's your choice. Absolutely. So, Hard Surface, we'd love to hear your comments. Share a cliche that you've heard and how maybe it has changed your belief system or how you want to get more clarity on it. Share with us. We would love to hear from you. So, thank you. Thank you so much. I hope that you took away some great gems along with that. So, we are going to continue and
Well, how can
Dan and I,
people find you again, Heart
oh,
Lady?
thank you. Well, it's always at the Heart Lady. That's THEE, the Heart Lady. And on Facebook, Sharon at the Heart Lady Read. And what about you, Dan?
And you can find me at Dan Mykins, M-Y-K. It's just like the way it sounds, Mykin with an S, MYKINS.com. Look me up and I'll be glad to get back with you. And once again, we want to hear from you. We want to hear your feedback. We want to know what your thoughts and feelings are about these cliches so that we can have further conversation about them.
There you go. All right, then, folks. You have an absolutely lovely day.
Aloha, surfs up. I'm dancing. I don't even need the mop.